Zane Clodfelter with Otters TV, here with Evansville Otter, John Schultz. And John, I know this has been probably the most interesting offseason in your baseball career, is it not?
Yeah, there's been a lot of ups and downs, to say the least. I mean, going from getting a call from Andy to come out of retirement, signing with the team in January, quitting my job, being on pace for spring training, and then we officially shut down here March 15th. So it's been a rough couple of months just trying to, make ends meet. We're finally starting to open up, but even now it's still a little hectic. But yeah, it's not exactly how I imagined coming out of retirement. But when we're able to get back, I'll be ready.
What went into the thought process when you got the call from Andy? You just mentioned you had a job. What in your mind made you want to give it another run?
Well, I've always had a passion for this game. I mean, in my spare time, I've been coaching a couple youth teams, 14U and 17U at a local academy here in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. That was something that kind of kept me sane during my days working in health insurance. So I've always been around the game ever since a young kid, and I love being around, just on the field, being with the guys. Andy and the rest of the coaching staff have been great to me. They've always, really looked out for me. They were the only call that I ever had once I got released from organizational ball. So once I got the call, I think it took maybe an hour or two to think it through, but it sure beat doing Excel charts and dealing with customers and their accounts. So it really was a no-brainer for me.
How have you tried to then stay in shape? Because if you're still going to be retired, the situation with baseball, it's not much of a worry, but you have now the body and all that upkeep that you need to keep track of. So how do you stay, one, mentally focused, and then stay physically, in shape in case that call comes for 2020?
Well, I think the biggest thing for me was, coaching. I was staying around the game. I'd sneak in a couple times, before practice and just hit on my own or go and work out and just kind of get a mental break from, a 9-to-5 job. And just being around the game, I mean, I joke around, but sometimes I wonder if I'm working harder at practice than the kids do. And, I knew the physical part would be a challenge, sitting at a desk all day to being out in the field in, the Midwestern summer heat is definitely an adjustment. But I've always felt confident that whenever the lights came on, whenever someone said play ball, I'd be ready to go. So I'm really going to put that to the test this year, but I believe that whether we start this year or next year, I'll be ready.
And it has to be pretty cool for you knowing that the next time you go to Bosse Field, you're still going to see your number 4, down that left field line.
Well, I'd rather be on my back than the wall, but it is a nice little reminder. Hopefully, I don't do anything to tarnish that or take that number back off the wall. But I'm looking forward to it. Bosse Field, Evansville in general, just the way everyone's treated me in the front office, the coaching staff, everyone around the Otters organization, host families, fans. It just felt like a second home to me. And, I've been to Evansville a few times, even outside of playing. And it's funny, every time I get off of 64, I believe it is, it just feels like home. It feels like I'm going home. And, I wouldn't want it any other way. To be able to come back into the game, I wouldn't want it to be anywhere else but Evansville.
And then finally, you were a part of the team back in 2015 where the franchise, we all celebrated Bosse Field's Centennial. And I don't know if you remember the game or not, but there was a 3-hour delay. We actually did the fireworks show before the actual game, and first pitch ended up being around 10 o'clock that night. But, with all the special dignitaries who were there and all the pomp and circumstance around it, what stood out in your mind about that night, 5 years ago?
Just the amount of people that came out to support. I mean, you had a lot of, big names in baseball, such as Jim Leland was there. I was lucky enough to meet him during the rain delay. I'm sure a lot of people went up to him just like me, kind of, being a super fan there with him. But, there's just a lot of history. And, this game has been, a staple in our American pastime. And to be able to just step on a field and be a part of an environment that so many legends in our game have, gone through, it is truly special. And, it was a bummer. That was a big night. Everyone was really excited for it to go. The crowd was huge. We got that unfortunate Evansville summer storm, and, it was a little bit of a delay, but it didn't take away from the game at the end of the day. Just be a part of history like that, and to be able to be a part of a team that is, at that situation in a landmark game like that, it was really special to me. And, I was really hoping to be a part of the 105th anniversary game this year, and it doesn't seem like that would happen, at least on the date. So maybe we can make up for it with the championship if we ever get going this year.
Yeah, absolutely. And final thing, you mentioned, America's pastime and how important baseball is. And so as someone who, played it in college at Pitt and got drafted and did affiliated ball and now has played an independent ball for this, long amount of time, and now you teach it, how frustrating is it to you just with the current just state and flux of this game, just on a national perception?
Oh man, that's kind of a loaded question. We could go on a long time.
I hate loaded questions, but John, I figured if anyone can answer a loaded question, it'd be you. So take us away.
It's tough. It's tough. I see the merits on both sides. I know it seems like billionaires and millionaires are arguing over money, but there is a little bit of risk going into this year, and there's special circumstances that people would have to, whether justified or not, be accustomed to. And I mean, at the end of the day, we all just want to see baseball, whether it's professional baseball, KBO, independent ball, whatever it needs to be. They need to find a way to be able to get the game going again. And I know money is an important element, and there is a risk involved that players are a little wary of, and owners are trying to protect themselves long term. But at the end of the day, we need to get the fans back and watching some baseball and just have some hope back into our country. And I know it's been a depressing 3 months, and be able to have a game on or have something to go to at night, or whether you have to watch it on TV or not, it just would be really refreshing to have a little bit of American culture restored.
I have thoroughly enjoyed the KBO and staying up late. Do you have a favorite team in that?
No, not necessarily. I actually don't have cable at my apartment right now. I'm actually preparing to make a move into the Philadelphia area for the next winter. And but I did spend some time down in Florida. Actually, I was at Josh's place training for a bit, and he had ESPN on, and we watched a little bit here and there. But there wasn't any particular team that stood out for me. It was just fun watching the guys play, and I always cracked up they still had cheerleaders going, and they didn't have any fans in the stands. So it was empty stadium, but it was business as usual as far as the appearances go.
You got to play the game, right? Even if it's in front of no one, if you can. So, well, John, obviously I know everyone's looking forward to seeing number 4, back on Bosse Field's, turf and grass. But until then, it's been great catching up, and be healthy and be safe.
Yes, you too, Zane. Thanks for the call, and look forward to seeing you guys soon, whether that's this year or next. I'll be back.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Awesome to hear. He's John Schultz. I'm Zane Clodfelter. This has been Otters TV.